All right, look, so today I just wanted to talk about this other book that I tried out called Quest Academy by, what is it? By Brian J. Norton. Okay, so I had tried out this book, okay? I tried this book out, um, and it was pretty popular. It had a lot of reviews, and it had like a 4.7 rating on Audible. So I figured I want to try out the audiobook and see how it was. And yeah, so I finished the first book and I kind of wanted to just talk about it. Not I finished the book a while ago, so I don't have like my memories for everything that happened, but I kind of know some of the cliff notes and kind of summarize some of the stuff. But ultimately, I'll just kind of spoil, I guess, exactly what happened. So ultimately, I dropped the story. Like I finished the first book, but it was a struggle towards the end of the book. And I'm just like, I don't really like where it's going, especially with the main character and some of these side characters. And like, I just didn't like where it was going. And so I was looking into the second book, trying to get more information about the second book. And some of the shit that I heard in the second book, I'm just like, oh no, that's the last thing I wanted to hear. Because I was getting hints of it in the first book. And what I'm talking about is the main character being a a little bit of a bitch. And like just not just being a little bit of a bitch is what I'm trying to say. And so it gets worse apparently in the second book. And I'm just like, I couldn't at all. So this story, it was a few things that I had found problems with, but I really thought that, the whole, academy, people are learning how to use their abilities, all that stuff, typical things that you would hear in a fantasy story. And I was curious about the main character and like how this was gonna set everything up. And so the main character, which is Salvatore, and my big red flag when I first started listening to the book was the fact that the powers. People have broken abilities. And I'm just like, okay, I don't know how the author is going to explain these powers and how broken they are. Like, I don't know how the author is going to balance things out to where I'm not looking at the main character just like, well, your power is broken. You should be just flying through all these different obstacles. These things shouldn't even be stopping you because your ability is so overpowered that you should be able to just fly through everything. Like, there shouldn't even be really any challenges unless you come across somebody else who has a broken ability as much as yours, So trying to balance shit out, so with like even some of the side characters, like the one side character, I don't even remember anybody's names, but the one side character in the story, she literally has the ability to see the future. Like, not know, oh, I can only see for a little bit, and I go blind for like a week, or no, like not a whole bunch of side effects or anything. Like, she literally can legit like see future events when they happen, what happens. She uses this ability to help out the academy to prevent like the demons and stuff from attacking and ambushing people or whatever. And I'm just like, yo, that shit is so. And she can't even just do that. She can see the future like a minute ahead, 30 seconds ahead. Like, she could see the future of what did he do? He like ordered. He went and what the hell did he do? He went and went to go visit some certain particular place. And I guess in the future he does this, and then he came back and he was talking to her about, oh, I just met this person. They have this really, really cool ability. And he talked to her for the first time. She started going to the future, and she was like, yeah, so you're really going to like this one ability. So I know you say you like this ability, but you're going to find out about this future ability, and it's going to be amazing, and you're going to want that ability or whatever. And I'm just like, so she can see like seconds ahead, dodge shit, knowing people about to hit her, all of that. And I'm just like, wow, that's broken as hell. And so there's that. But the main character has like 3 broken abilities, right? So get 3 broken abilities and then combine that shit together, and that's his ability. I'm talking about the most broken of all broken abilities that you could think of. Like, This dude has the ability to learn other people's abilities. Like, learn their ability. That right there is broken. If you can copy somebody's ability and use it for yourself, and the only limiting factor is that you're just not used to the ability yet. So like if you copy somebody's super speed, your body's not accustomed to running that fast and you're just not used to it. So you're going to have a little bit of issues, but you can still use it. You just can't use it to its fullest effect because your body's not used to it, whatever. But if you were to practice with the ability long enough, then you're good. I mean, that's the only thing that's stopping him. Is just that he got to get used to using other people's abilities. But like the future chick, the future vision chick, copy her ability, see the future, boom. Like easy, just I'm copying your shit, I can see the future, boom. Maybe he needs some help from her as far as like guidance and how to use it and how to maneuver, but he can do that shit just like that. And I'm just like, yo, that's crazy. But here's the kicker. He has an even more broken ability. Not only can he copy other people's abilities and use them, but he can open up their abilities to where he's using their ability to his fullest, most maximum potential effect ever. Like, so if you have an ability where you can see the future, like the future seeing girl, and you can see, let's say you can see 6 months into the future. That's your max. I can see 6 months into the future and it's vaguely clear, but not 100% clear. Cool. He copies your ability. He immediately upgrades and uses the ability to his maximum effect. And so now he uses your ability and he can see 5 years into the future because he can use the maximum efficiency, the maximum ability, because you're restricted with your ability to use it because you haven't maxed it out. He can max that shit out and use it to its fullest extent. He can go 5 years, as an example. I'm just like, wow. And so the way that he describes it is that people have knots in their whatever abilities that he can see, and he can unravel all these knots for himself to where he can use it to his maximum effect, to where the power is flowing perfectly and there's not any restrictions. And I'm just like, okay, so not only can he copy people's abilities, but he can upgrade their abilities. So if you got fast speed, he copy your ability, upgrade that shit. Now he got super duper extremely fast speed. Like I mean, the potential is insane. And so there's that. But then he has a third ability. He can help unlock other people's maximum potential of their abilities. So those knots that they were talking about, oh, you got these little knots in your like whatever pathways, he can unlock those to where things start flowing more smoothly, to where they get better efficiency and higher potential with their ability. And so he, and no side effects by doing this. So I'm just like, okay, you can copy people's abilities, you can upgrade and use their abilities to their maximum potential, and you can upgrade everybody else's abilities permanently? No side effects, bruh. I mean, there should be no war. Like, you're the cheat code. You're the glitch. It's over. There's no war. Go to the strongest person who's fighting, upgrade their abilities, and unlock whatever knots that they got so they can use their shit to the maximum potential, and everybody should be just annihilating everybody. You got future sight. I mean, the abilities is just insane. So it's just like, you should be able to do whatever. Like, it's, and then he has a fourth ability, which is he has the ability to combine abilities, to where he ended up combining his mom's ability or his dad's ability, like appraisal. He combined like an appraisal ability with an upgrade ability, to where somebody had the ability to upgrade items and shit like that. So take it from like D class to C class, or from C class to B class, or whatever. He combined like an appraisal ability with like an upgrade ability and some other ability too. I think it might have been a third ability. I'm not quite sure. It might have been. I'm not sure. But he combined those abilities, and then now he got one ability that does all those things. And then apparently he's got potential to have, he can put, I guess, one more combination ability that he can put onto his body or whatever, his soul, whatever it is. So there's potential for him to get like that's a more like utility sort of ability that he got, to where now he's like a mythic crafter and all this shit. And so he can have a more combat ability to where he can combine different combat abilities, and now he's got the combat ability. So he got the ability to make and craft mythical grade items, and then also on top of that, he can get a combat ability to where, you know, if you want to combine, I don't fucking know, like some super strength and super speed, and now you're one for all. You know, like it's crazy. It's so crazy. And so there's that. That's just there was no balance in that. Like he's literally limited by himself. Is basically what it is. Like it is so crazy. It's so crazy. But yeah, so just the story for me, another reason why I really wanted to listen to the story is because of the narrator, Daniel Wisniewski, some shit like that. I forgot, I don't know how he says his name. But he did the narration of 1% Lifesteal, and I thought he was phenomenal. I thought he was phenomenal voice acting that whole entire story. And so I'm just like, yo, this guy is dope. Let me see what else he's got. And then I saw that Quest Academy, and then you also got the dual narrator. So you got Rebecca Woods, which Rebecca Woods is okay. For me, Rebecca, she does too much of like the Valley girl girly voice. Like everybody's got this like Valley girl, yeah, like that shit is just ugh. Like everybody don't sound like that. So that shit was dumb. But I mean, she's okay. She can get annoying at times, but she's okay. So with those things being said, with his crazy upgrade ability and his potential, I'm just like, okay, this guy should be just the strongest ever, flying past everything or whatever. And like the ways that the author comes up with, I guess, limiting the character is just by his own self-doubts and his, you know, his lack of self-confidence. And I mean, you just can't have a story where they just have broken abilities like that, because it just seems to me like everything that happened, I'm just like, what's the point? He could just go in there and take 3 of the best abilities, combine that shit, do a little bit of training, the whole war is over. Like there should be no war. It should be a wrap. Like it's crazy. It don't make any sense. And then like the love stuff and like the seduction thing, I'm just like, it kind of came out of nowhere. Like it wasn't really building up to it. It was just like, boom, in your face, seduction, and we gonna fuck. And I'm just like, wait, what? You trying to wait? What? I'm just like, okay, cool. All right. So I didn't really like the whole. I mean, I'm not even really gonna call it romance, but just like some of the lustful parts of the story, the teasing and stuff is just. It was okay, but it wasn't really what I liked, I guess is what I would say. But yeah, so that part was not enough for me. And then like I said, just the main character, just how he's limited by his own confidence and his own ability to be able to, you know, recognize how powerful he is and what he can do. Like I mean, he's holding himself back. And like, what did I read? I read in the second book, like he lets people just walk all over him, and like one of the girls, this is what I heard about in the second book. One of the girls like mind controlled them, because they can fucking mind control people in this fucking story, yo. Like mind control you, get you to do some shit that you don't want to do. Like abilities is so crazy. But she like mind controlled him to do some shit and put himself in danger, almost died, and he was just like, you know what? It's not your fault. I'm just like, yo, there's no way you're doing this. So it was hints of that in the first book, of him just like not really holding people accountable that should be getting held accountable. And I'm just like, you kind of letting people get away with a little bit too much. Like you need to stop that. But apparently in the second book, it's really bad. It's really bad. And like she doesn't even get punished for the shit that she did. Everybody just like chalks it up, just like, well, you know, kids are gonna be kids, I guess, or some shit they chalked it up to be. But yeah, there's just there's just no way. I just couldn't continue. Like I said, with the powers and it not really being balanced, and the main character not really having much of a backbone and not standing up for himself, and just kind of letting them get taken advantage of and just used and simping because you're not holding anybody accountable for anything. Anything. I'm just like, I just couldn't go along with that. And then they also had some gender fluidity shit that also happened, like people non-binary and shit in the class, and I'm just like, okay, you're not male, you're not female, you're something else. Like they just throw that in there, and I'm just like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. Like, are we supposed to have a long, deep discussion about this, or are we just glossing over this, or I'm calling you they, them in the story? I don't know. I don't know. And so all that stuff, even with the great voice acting from Daniel, I couldn't. I couldn't. I couldn't. I really couldn't. But yeah, the things that I did like though, I mean, I liked the whole training aspect. Like they had did like a whole, like they got everybody on rankings and who's a number 1, number 2, number 3 rankings for like who's been doing the best or whatever. Like, I mean, that's cool, you know, seeing somebody go up, satisfying, like, oh yeah, this person's so much stronger, or it's not even really like physical strength, but like just overall, they're just better at all the different things. And then like they talked about him like starting up a business, but the whole myth crafting thing, I'm just like, okay, that's cool. Start up a business, and I guess he might start a guild and start making a bunch of money and shit, and having people work for him because of his ability so great. Like, I thought all that stuff had potential. That was cool, but like, you gotta have a main character who's gonna be a leader. You gotta have a main character who's gonna, which he did. He showed his leadership skills. But it's like that shit just gets thrown out, you know, thrown away when it's convenient for the story to show. Like, it's just, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. But basically, I'll overall sum this up as the story had potential. It had potential to be really good, but it failed for me because of the main character not having a backbone and standing up for himself. And the power system just being too broken, and it not being balanced to the point where I'm looking at this war with the demons. I'm just like, there shouldn't even be a war. Like, this shit should be over and done with, because people got all these incredible powers that there's no way that you should even have difficulty fighting anybody. So yeah, because of all that, I couldn't continue. But with that being said, let me know what you thought about the story. I'm really, really curious to hear other people's opinions about the story. Maybe they got through book 2 and book 3 and book 4 or whatever, and it got way better after a certain point, or maybe some things just didn't really bother you that much. Like I said, the Rebecca Woods, the female voice actor, her type of voice acting was a little bit annoying, you know, at times. But yeah, so just let me know what you thought about it, and that's gonna be it for me for this one. Like the video if you did, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.